Today on Design Santa Barbara, we are with my dear friend Ron Atwood celebrating his 50th year, unbelievable, as a art dealer and a scholar of African art.
The oldest one on the west coast of the United States.
I have a few questions. I bought my first African art from you, which I still love, and maybe today you can explain to our viewers about African art, the importance of it in the world art history, and how to collect smartly.
Very grateful to be here, Michael, and I'm so happy you do have my piece, and I have a great tapestry from you.
Well, feelings are mutual then.
Now, here's the point. The importance of African art is as important as a European Flemish tapestry or a Leonardo da Vinci. They both come from the passion for something beautiful. And African art is often thought of as something that may not be really beautiful. It's associated with, in the old days, Tarzan and so forth. But I'm here really to point out some of the beauty and joy in African art. So let's go back to when it first influenced Europe. It was brought in by adventurers and traders from the colonial period, introduced to the modern artists of Paris. Picasso, Modigliani, all the rest of them saw African art and had fun showing it to each other and being powerfully influenced by it. One of the most powerful things at that period of time, the early 20th century, 1906, 1907, is the heart-shaped face, which is not threatening, and there it is. The heart-shaped face was one of the most powerful influences on modernism, and there you see an example of it in a mask from Gabon, which comes from the late 19th century. This book, called African Negro Sculpture, really introduced, published by the Museum of Modern Art in New York in 1935, illustrated collections and pieces from people like Helena Rubinstein, the famous cosmetician. And this was one of her masks. That began the influence of African art on world art history, because modernism catalytically came out of African art more than any other indigenous culture of the world.
Yeah, I've seen Picasso's pictures that actually are exact copies of the African
And you will see
statues.
some of those pictures. Picasso and a Coda Reliquary Guardian, Modigliani and his famous face compared to a Baule mask, which is what some of you will see here. The Baule and the simple, elegant nose line, that was the influence on Modigliani's portraits. So the point is, here we have in front of us some of the more beatific images of African art. This Baule mask that did in fact influence Modigliani, and Brancusi, the sculpture, his style. Next, we have a very important piece of African art, which is a Punu mask from Gabon, Michael.
That's
and
beautiful.
This is really a masterpiece. On the table in front of this mask, you see a cover showing a Punu mask on a book just devoted to the Punu. On the other side, you see another Punu mask from a famous collection that was sold in 2001 at Sotheby's. And that mask brought over $400,000 in 2001. Now I'm getting into what the value of African art at the top level is. This mask, another one very similar to this, actually sold for slightly over $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah. On the other hand, you want to know also, and I hope that viewers will want to know, that not everything has to cost that much. So what I've also pointed out here and will show to you are things that can be gotten for an affordable price. For example, currency. Believe it or not, what you're seeing in front of you is a rather large penny.
It is a penny.
Made out of pure copper. It's not really a penny,
Let's see if
Michael.
it fits in my pocket.
But yeah, but this is actually a form of currency. And it makes a great designer's piece. Put it on a mount like this and you've got modern art. These go for about $500.
Oh, that's pretty affordable.
Another thing that's affordable, that is authentic and real, I have behind me. African weapons can make a great wall decoration. They're powerful, they come in many forms, and you can get them for between $500 and $1,000 generally.
Affordable.
So this is nice for anyone who wants to have something tribal, yet not just a reproduction, but the real thing. So there you have that affordable level. Now, when you get into sculpture, you have to be realistic, and I would say, as a dealer who's been at it for some 50 years, that pieces like this are going to be around $3,000. This is authentic early African sculpture. Pieces that are masterpiece level, and I wanted the public to at least see this. That's why I brought an absolutely, if I don't mind my saying so, stunning
It's beautiful.
mask.
Yes, it is.
They are stunning, and it's hard not for anyone to fall in love with the beauty of what represents the spirit of a beautiful woman. That's an example of the top level of African art, which is now bringing record-breaking prices at auctions. And then there's everything in between. So this is an approachable art form with many styles. So you can see the vast array of styles going on here. And that's important that you know that African art, and the kind that I must admit I personally prefer, is the abstraction of Cubism. A piece that you got from me demonstrates that. And then the ones that I prefer for my own collecting, which are these beatific objects that have great power as well as presence. So I really thank you. And if there are any questions that you might have further, I'd be happy to answer them. But otherwise, I'm just going to go on teasing you like I mercilessly do every time we meet.
Well, I thank you very much. That was a amazing lecture, and I'm pretty sure the viewers got a lot out of it, and looking forward to have you another time on our show.
Absolutely, Michael. I'll look forward to that.
Thank you, Ron.
You
Thank
take good care.
Appreciate it.